fantasy, and cosplay. They come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds.
And here we are. We are good to go. All right, we are straight. Everybody good? Everybody all mic'd up?
Yeah, I'll just mute myself when I'm going into the house.
Okay.
The thing is still going on a loop.
What are you watching it from?
YouTube.
Did it switch over to our screen already?
Now they're good now.
There you go.
They're good now.
All right, what is going on, everyone? Remember, all right, whatever. We'll worry about that part. No, I'm saying because it's going to be a delay when you watch the playback. It's just going to be.
Yeah,
a delay.
no, you're fine.
Yeah. So, what's going on, everyone? Your boy Kendrick Grey, the Dreadlock Blur here, back with another Council of the Blerds Geekcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Who are tuning in right now through our YouTube as well as on Facebook. I am streaming this on Facebook right now, not our Facebook group, but my Facebook page. Once I get all the restream stuff together, then you'll be able to see streams on our Facebook fan page. But until then, I figured I'll just stream it through my page for right now. I'm joined by KB Katanni Bramhan, and I'm joined by Kim McCoy. Harold is not in at the moment. He's going to be joining us soon. He is taking care of some business, as he usually does, because he's a very busy man. But we are back one more time during the continued quarantine. This thing is still going.
Week 5 for us.
This is week 5. We are week 5 in this thing, and this thing doesn't show any signs of stopping anytime soon. Oh God. But you know, we're making the most of it. We are making the most of it. Anyone who's watching, please let us know if we are coming in clear. If they haven't hear any echoes, please let us know right then and there so we can fix all that stuff. In the meantime, we're just going to continue as planned. We came back officially last week after we talked about everything we've been watching during the quarantine on Netflix. I haven't really been watching a whole bunch of stuff. I've been actually like jumping from from show to show, movie to movie on Netflix. I think the only thing I really binged was Altered Carbon, Tiger King, and Coffee and Kareem to my detriment. But that's neither here nor there. We are already past that. So let's move on. Today we are tackling things that we've been watching on YouTube, and I can tell you right now that between all the streaming services that I have, I've probably spent the most time during this quarantine on YouTube than anything else, which is weird because
Yes, like why are we paying for these other things?
it's funny because I mean, aside from the fact that I do YouTube as a profession, and the fact that I usually have time even during my work schedule to check out videos, we've all spent a great deal of time just binging shit on YouTube. Excuse my language. Sorry about that. So it's like it's almost a Katanni's point. It's like, why are we paying for all these other streaming services? I mean, it is what it is. I guess you can still rent stuff on YouTube. You can actually rent things for free on YouTube. I haven't taken advantage of that little option yet, but I plan to at some point. You have, Kim? It sounds like it wasn't all that great.
No comment.
Okie dokie then. All right. I guess that solves that little conundrum right there. So, all that being said, I will say that I've probably gotten more joy out of watching the stuff on YouTube than I have on a lot of the other things I've been watching through my streaming services. I don't know how it's been for everybody else on the panel.
Yeah, it's about right. I mean, especially because, I don't have cable, so YouTube is life right now.
Right. So,
yeah, definitely YouTube has been pretty much what I go to sleep with and what I wake up to in the morning on a regular basis.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, we've been in our apartment since September, and before we even moved in, we've made like not even a pact, we made like an agreement to forego cable TV. We've come to the realization that really the only thing you really need is a good, strong internet connection, and you can pretty much watch whatever you want to watch, depending on what you want to watch. I mean, if you look at let's take for instance, let's look at Verizon. They got and we talked about this the other day, because they got how many, over 1,000 channels, and they're all the same thing.
Yeah, I was just talking about what I don't miss because I'm currently not home. I do have to stay with my mother for the next couple of weeks. She's been in the hospital, and I'm just here until she's back up and on her feet. But she has the full, Verizon, and there's like 1,800 channels, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, there's nothing on. I actually miss only scrolling through 50 channels of stuff that I actually watch.
Yeah, it's like a crazy abundance of channels. Like between regular channels, they got the HD channels and stuff that usually start from the 500 and go on up. They have multiple forms of one station. Not to mention the fact that there's a lot of shows that are on multiple stations at the same time. So it's why are we spending $100+ on cable when we can just easily design what we want to watch and just figure out what's the best streaming service for it? Between Netflix.
Because someone asked,
yeah,
I think somebody asked, how much do we pay for all of our streaming services combined plus internet? And I think it's just over $100.
Just about.
Versus $250 that a lot of people seem to be paying for TV and internet now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because
Rogue basically chimed in. She said, since the pandemic, Netflix gained 15 million new subscribers.
That sounds about right too, because it's what else are you gonna watch?
Because most people are in the home, so it's it's a lot of things that kind of you have to now subscribe to the streaming services, because again, your main cable sources, your main movie sources, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, all have streaming sources now.
Yeah.
So what's the point of paying for cable if I can have a streaming service?
I recently I just did the 7-day free trial of HBO Now. I mean, it's fairly decent actually. I'm not going to pay $15 for it, but Well,
I told you I was going to get it back when my show came back on.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I as an AT&T customer, actually, AT&T has a program where you get one if you use their TV subscription service, which comes with a lot of their packages now.
Yeah.
You get either HBO or I think it's Stars as part of your package. So that's the way I watch HBO.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily, and I can switch between them whenever I want to. If I'm tired of HBO, I can go switch to Stars. If I'm tired of Stars, I can go switch back. But that's the way I'm dealing with that. So, I mean, you know, definitely there's a lot of options and there's a lot of things that are out there. But overall, I know for myself, and I know maybe even my dad, YouTube has become pretty much the pinnacle of what I do in a day.
Yeah.
Because there's so much content on there. I don't have to worry about what to watch. I can literally just look it up and I can find it. I can find something similar to that. I don't have to depend on Netflix to kind of scroll through and kind of be like, I really don't feel like watching the show today. YouTube has everything I personally need to actually get through an entire day.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you really search through YouTube like thoroughly, you can find absolutely anything you want. You really can. So I, spent a great deal of time, even in the early years of YouTube, finding movies that I didn't watch in the movie theater and watching it on YouTube. Because there's always somebody who's gonna be able to have it, and for the goodness of the rest of us, post it up so we could watch it. So
exactly.
So
and I tell you, I get lost in YouTube channels. I mean, just
easy
searching different things. Like I remember one time, this happened years ago. I remember one time I watched Janet's Velvet Rope Tour.
Yeah,
For some reason.
so and like the way you get there sometimes it's hilarious because you technically aren't looking for something, and automatically it was like it's like the YouTube gods come down and they're like, I know what you want to watch here.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you just watch it, and next thing you know, you're like onto some whole different cooking show that you weren't even you were at you were watching Criminal Minds stuff, and now you're on a freaking Martha Stewart thing, and you don't know how you got there.
Yeah. Kim, I'll say this though, you definitely drew me back to the
hey Harold.
There goes Harold. Harold is in his house.
How's everybody doing?
What's going
Can you hear
on?
me?
Yeah, we can definitely hear you, bro.
Okay, good.
You are coming in very clear.
Good.
But I was saying, Kim, you drew me back into the Reddit videos again. I was I used to watch them maybe 2 years ago. I used to watch a lot of them, but when you brought it up again, I think maybe not yesterday, but I think the day before, I started searching through them again. I just said Reddit, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
They're so true to life right now. It's like, especially if you ever worked in customer service.
Yeah.
Those videos speak to you on a different level. It's like you worked in food service, customer service, IT, doesn't matter. I'm like, I could sit there and listen to Reddit videos all day long because they're just so hilarious, in my opinion.
That's the plus side to the Reddit videos, because you don't necessarily have to watch them. They're just good for listening.
Yeah.
And I've gone through a couple of videos. I was watching one on helicopter parents. Let's see. I've been going through so much. I have to go to my history.
I hate to say that. I like the neck beards. I like the ones about the neck beards, and you get your couple. And I'm not saying this to be that way, but it's just the Reddit phrase for it. The Karen videos are always there.
I was watching a Karen video the other day, and I was laughing my ass off. And I haven't caught any of the neck beard videos yet. I saw one, but I didn't watch it yet. I'm like, let me just save this one for later, because I'm gonna find this one very hilarious. But
yeah, I'm like, and then for me, that got me into, because I was one that had an MLM video, and they were talking about pretty much those multi-level marketing people that are trying to get at people right now because of the pandemic. And somehow, some way, I ended up on a totally different page, totally different. And I'm like, again, how did I get here? And I'm now watching 20-minute videos of this woman ranting about each and every MLM out there, and it's so awesome.
Wow.
And her now I even call out her name. I believe her name is like Illuminati or something like that, like Naughty is the name, and she breaks down every single MLM out there, and I'm like, 20 minutes of me just sitting there going.
Before we continue, I just want to say, anyone who's watching us on YouTube and on Facebook, feel free to share some of the things you guys have been watching on YouTube as well, because we're always looking for new things to check out. There's nowhere to go. There really ain't nowhere to go. So
there's nowhere to go, guys.
So,
absolutely.
So all we can really do is just sit here and check out things on YouTube. Like, we got the free time, so suggestions are always welcome.
Let's get to it.
I got more content on my channel than ever.
And like I said, I said the same thing too once the pandemic hit. I said, like, this is actually giving me a lot more free time to make some more videos that I haven't had the time to do in like forever. And like I said, I was going to take a page out of your book and do a series of super reviews for a lot of stuff I've been watching lately. But all that being said, let's just get right into it. Kim, you're gonna have to be the first one to start, because you've been probably YouTubing like crazy since this pandemic hit. So we got to hear your suggestions. What you've been watching?
Mostly, okay. I've been getting some, for me, rare finds, because it's usually stuff I wouldn't listen to. But there's one particular channel that I stumbled upon, and I'm usually not into like gossip channels or anything like that, but My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You is the name of the channel. Now, wow. The reason why I love this channel and the reason why it drew me in, the girl who's on here, I forget her name already, but she is a fitness. She's a fitness coach. Very built. She has a backstory and everything. You know, she used to be a heavier girl. She got thin, but she's a cosplayer. And sometimes she does these videos and cosplay, and it is amazing. Oh, okay. Because she gets into character, and it's so good. Wow. And you're just, I'm like, and it's so entertaining. And I'm usually, like I said, I'm usually not into like drama filled stuff, and like, but I don't know why. It's like the new Jerry Springer for me. Like, I can't stop watching her videos. And then like watching her body transformations, where she's going from like very muscular to just being very toned, and just watching those videos and watching those transformations. I'm like, maybe I should get thin.
That sounds like something that I actually probably would get into watching.
Whoa.
Who's calling the bat phone? What's going on here? What's this?
Hey, look.
Who's it?
All right.
Is it Gordon? Who?
Look, okay. They keep having these town hall meetings around here, and I'm like, I already hung up on you for the third time.
Chief O'Hara? There's only one man who can stop the Catwoman.
Exactly.
Saints preserve us, Commissioner. We better call the Batman.
Exactly. Like really?
1966 for you. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
We have someone in the comments. They're talking about Tubi. Okay. I think that's what they're talking about. They're talking about Tubi and how to watch it.
Hey, yeah, I see a bunch of people. I see Daryl. I see Rouge. I see Rouge and Daryl.
Yeah, talking about Tubi and watching old anime. I'm not even going to try to massacre that name.
That's Daryl. I know who he is. That's Daryl Taylor.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
You know what's so funny? I mean, before we get back into the youth thing, I had said before that I was going to start trying to do some TV reactions to a lot of the old animes that I didn't get to watch from beginning to end. Like, one of them, like, this is my breakout anime too, which was Ronin Warriors. That was my breakout anime. That's what, like, Ronin Warriors basically popped my anime cherry, if you want to take it that far. But I've never actually sat and watched it from like beginning to end. Like, because when it was on at the time, it was on like early in the morning, like right before you had to go to school. So
Right.
I found it. I mean, this isn't YouTube related, but I found it on Amazon. So I said I was gonna devote some time in doing some TV reactions or anime reactions and watch the whole series of Ronin Warriors at some point. I also found the Virtual Fighter anime, which I didn't know was a thing. Apparently, but
Yeah,
apparently
Virtual Fighter. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so
I think I have a VHS of that.
Interesting. Wow, that's crazy. So I'll probably watch that too, and a couple other things. But as far as YouTube is concerned, me and Tani, oh man, we've been wrapped up in Screen Rant. More specifically, the pitch meeting on Screen Rant.
Yeah, I tried those, and I'm like, I was like, yeah, no.
Why? What happened?
I couldn't. I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't get the same entertainment.
It's one of those things. Like, to me, Screen Rant. I mean, at least pitch meeting is one of those things where it's like you really gotta go into it with like a, not even an open mind, but like a real extreme sense of humor. To where, like, because one thing I realized about the pitch meetings is like, and Tanya can tell you this also, like, it helped me see just how ridiculously made these movies are. Is like, basically, for those of you who don't know, pitch meeting is a section of Screen Rant, and the guy who does these videos, his name is Ryan George. I'm assuming he's like an actor and a comedian of some sort. So, and he's been doing this for like a while now. So basically, he does like mock pitch meetings of movies that are getting ready to be made. So he plays all the characters, but the main two characters are the producer and the screenwriter. So it's usually a back and forth conversation of how, you know, the movie is supposed to get made. And he's done a great deal of movie. He's made fun of a great deal of movies too. Like, he's done the Matrix movies, a lot of the Disney live action movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. The reason why we got so hooked onto them is because, like I said, it just helped us realize, like, we let a lot of things slide with a lot of these movies. Like, the plot, the way it's presented, the way it's set up, we let a lot of things slide with movies.
But when you go to the movies, you're supposed to suspend belief. You're supposed to leave reality behind. Like, you know what? Listen, that was a cool fight scene, but I will forgive that boom mic that I saw in the background, but that was a cool fight scene.
But
you know, something like that.
Yeah, but on the same point, I actually have somebody similar that I watch, believe it or not. But she's a video essayist. And her name is Lindsay Ellis. If you watch her video, she breaks down the smallest detail in a movie or in Broadway or in a show that makes you really, really, really start double checking why you actually liked it in the first place. And I'm like, and it's done so well and it's executed so well, and you're just like, but for me, I'm like, because she's telling me that it's perfect. When they try to put it in humor, for me, it's like, I don't get it.
Like, I've actually gotten into watching a lot of different video essays, people tackling certain movies and TV shows and why it's good, why it's not so good. Like, I'll watch Let Me Explain. I'll watch him a lot. Like, I know he just did one. I think he just did another one for Coco, but I'm definitely usually.
Yeah, I refuse to watch it. I refuse to.
Oh, really? Coco?
I love Coco too much. I can't.
But I mean, between him, I watch, Let Me Explain. I think Wisecrack is another one that I watch. I can actually probably jump in here, like, because there's a lot of movie there's a lot of movie YouTubers. There's a lot of YouTubers that tackle like movies and TV shows and how they either could have been done better, or what makes the movie so good, what makes a movie so bad.
Why the movies are so terrible and or inconsistent to the actual books that they were written for. Yeah, stuff of that nature. I mean, it's really interesting to watch. I mean, the woman that I was speaking about, she broke down. I think, what movie did she break down? And it really Rent. She broke down Rent for me, and I enjoyed Rent the movie.
Right.
And I literally was, I really questioned myself at the end. Do I really enjoy this movie or not? Because I really still want to enjoy that movie, but just listening to her in the background talking about it, I'm like, you know, maybe it really wasn't that great. And like, yeah, I can see now that, you know, this character who's supposed to be the focus of the movie is not the focus, it's somebody else.
Right.
And yeah, it's horrible. But the same thing with like Cinema Sins. I watch him all the time.
Me
too. I even watch his old videos, and I'm like, Cinema Sins for me, that cracks me up sometimes.
I don't want anybody bursting my bubble. I'm sorry. I mean, like, because I mean, if I may quote Cypher from The Matrix, which I'm quite sure that there's a video out there that says 101,000 reasons why The Matrix sucks. You know, I'm going to quote Cypher. It said, listen, I know the steak isn't real, but I know that when I eat it, it's going to be thick and juicy and delicious. You know what? Ignorance is bliss.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned.
There you go. I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I'm saying. Don't go and tell me that my Star Wars sucks.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
I think that's why I rather have pitch meetings, because at least they insert comedy into it. If someone's really ripping apart a movie like we ripped apart A Fall from Grace last week, then I don't want to hear that. But hearing it with comedy, I'm okay with that.
It's funny because like you brought up Cinema Sins, and like that reminds me of, like, you know, a lot of other channels that I watch. Channel Awesome with the Nostalgia Critic. I watch him.
Yes.
I like even some of the other like little lesser known movie reviewers like Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns. A lot of those guys I just tend to watch on a regular basis because they insert comedy into what they're talking about. So that's why I can get with it, because, you know, we spent years with critics and reviewers who are like super serious and like are all about the art of filmmaking and such. Like, stop! Knock it off!
It's like, I will say this. I will say Lindsay's not completely, you know, straightforward to the point. She does insert it, but it's more sarcasm. That makes sense. So for me, as a, you know, that's my language. So of course I'm going to enjoy that a lot more. But yeah, definitely, you know, as far as like anything that has to do with like breaking down movies that I've already seen or already watched, or shows I've already watched, go ahead, go right ahead. I'm like, I'm all for it at this point. You're not ruining anything for me. Even if you ruin it for like, even if something I don't want to watch, like this is how I'm keeping up with my 90 Day Fiance stuff, is I'm going through other people on YouTube because I don't have cable. So, so therefore I'm watching it on YouTube to keep up. Who else do I sit there and watch now? I
don't know. Tani was asking me the other day, how can I watch people play video games on YouTube?
I don't.
I never answered that question, but the reason why I watch a lot of them, because a lot of them at the same time, like the movie thing, a lot of them inject their comedy into what they're playing. Like, for instance, Markiplier. I know Markiplier is one that people like to watch a lot because of the way he's reacting to the gameplay that he's doing. So that's one of them. Like, I've been watching Maximilian Dude for like the past couple of weeks or so because, you know, he's funny and his take on certain things is hilarious. He's been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake also. I'm almost done. He's finished.
I haven't even started yet.
I'm almost done. I'm on the last level right now. I'm fighting Sephiroth, and he is anyway, but
I haven't even started Final Fantasy. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. I messed around and downloaded Death Stranding. I done messed myself up.
Oh, Death Stranding. Why?
Yeah, I done messed myself up. But yeah, I'm like, I mean, as far as that, like the most I get out of that is if I watch, and this is just for me, Simmers building, because that's what I do. I build on The Sims. So when I get completely bored, I will watch other people building to get like ideas and stuff like that. But it's like DIY for your house. It's like, that's what it is for me. So I'm like, I'm watching them DIY for the Sims game. So that's about as far as I get. But like gameplay, as far as watching somebody actually play a game straight through, I get bored because I'm not playing. So I now want to go play the game. So I'll stop the video and go play.
Let me step in there for just a second. As a person who wants to get another console but can't really afford one, it's like, I had to make that decision a long time ago. It's like, well, Harold, you're not going to be getting a console anytime soon, so, why don't you just go ahead and just watch somebody else play it? And I found Markiplier so entertaining. I even got Rouge to watch Markiplier. We were sitting there watching him play Five Nights at Freddy's in the beginning, and he is just so entertaining. I never thought that I would actually be like just entertained by watching somebody else play a video game and be able to consistently narrate it and be completely funny during it. Because I tried doing that. I'm going to keep trying, though. I tried doing that, and I'm like, how do these guys stay so consistent in their gameplay? And then when they get stuck, because when I'm at a video game and I'm stuck, I usually get quiet, and I'm like, they'll get stuck, but they'll keep it going. There won't be any silences. I'm like, how do I keep it going when I'm stuck? And I'm going, oh, okay. Oh, I'm supposed to pick up that key. And then all of a sudden there's like a bit of silence. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, damn it, I died. Or something like that. But I enjoy Markiplier. There's another gentleman who just came back. He's been away for about 9 months. His name is Corey Kenshin. All right? And he, African-American brother, very fluent in Japanese, did not realize that he had such a big fan base. As a matter of fact, he played a video when he returned. He played a video of what he was doing for the past couple of months. Mm-hmm. And he went to go visit some kids. And the kids went crazy over him. And he took the time to play games with these kids who were disabled, and they wanted to meet Corey Kenshin. So, he came in there, played games with them, and he was just showing videos of all of his travels and what he was doing and everything, all the stuff that he was doing before the COVID-19 thing. Mm-hmm. And he is just to watch because he does it from a brother's point of view. And it's funny. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I watch the gamers. I watch John Campia. That's where I get my news. I moved from Collider. Collider just tanked.
Well,
and I've been watching John Campia since AMC Movie Talk. Then he went to Collider, and now he's doing his own thing, which I'm just very impressed with. He does his own show from his house. He was supposed to do it at a studio, but he wasn't satisfied with the sound of the studio, so he just started doing it at his house. Robert Meyer Burnett, who else is Christian Harloff? Who's Christian Harloff's partner? I forget his name.
Mark Ellis.
They nicknamed him Baby Carrots.
Mark Ellis.
Oh, yeah, Mark Ellis. That's my boy. Mm-hmm. I missed him from him when he would host Collider Movie Talk. He just had that voice. He was like, "Welcome to the greatest movie show in the entire galaxy, Collider Movie Talk. I'm Mark Ellis."
Now,
I love that guy. He is so fun.
Didn't Collider recently disband even before the pandemic? Yeah. Like I remember hearing about that they disbanded. Yeah, they just called it quits, all of them over there.
Yeah. So, but as far as anime, I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That
I don't know if I'm ready for that, man. I keep seeing
I can't get into it. I watched I watched one of the movies that it was JoJo, and it was just so awkwardly weird. I'm like, I just could not. Weird.
I'm gonna try to give it a shot. I'm gonna really try to give it a shot, but
it's funny, but it's so awkward to watch.
It's weird. It's I don't know. It just appeals to maybe it's just that weird oddball side of me that it appeals to. I don't know. I mean, but I dig it.
But I mean, let me see.
Somebody I've also started watching within the past couple of weeks. The channel name is Bowl of the Fifth Column. Tawny's seen one of his videos one time when I was watching him. This guy looks like your stereotypical redneck. Mm-hmm. Ball cap, long beard. But
he's liberal. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But he seems to be. I mean, I guess he comes off as liberal. I don't know if he really is. But a lot of the things that he says in his videos is very liberal-ish. And it's like, damn. You would have never thought. And I guess that's his whole appeal. I guess is to ring people in with the idea that he's possibly a redneck, so he's probably gonna have redneck views, but he absolutely doesn't. And you know, like I've watched a good amount of his videos over the past couple of weeks, and it's like, damn, this guy's good. This guy gets it, and it's like, wow, like you would have never thought, you know, someone like that who had that look. I mean, they always say you can't judge a book by its cover, but it's like, and he almost kind of talks in like a southern drawl, but it's not really drawl-ly. But it's like you see him and you think, okay, he's probably some King of the Hill dude, but it's like, nope, straight liberal thoughts he got coming out of his mouth. And it's like a lot of things that he says makes absolute sense when he talks about it, because he's been talking about, you know, like things that's been going on with the pandemic and how government officials have been handling it and how they should be handling it and how the president is just, well, we're not going to get into that right now.
No.
Yeah, let's not, please, let's not.
But
no.
I've still been sticking with a few more other channels. Watch Mojo, I'm still sticking with them. I've still been catching a lot of them, their videos. They seem to be getting into the top 20s now. That's been the thing. I guess they got a lot more free time on their hands, so they've been doing more top 20s as opposed to just top 10 videos. I've been watching a lot of Cinemassacre, Looper videos. I
haven't seen a Looper video in forever.
I don't know.
I'm like, it doesn't even come up on my feed. Yeah, it doesn't even come up on my feed anymore. It's like I used to see a Looper video at least once in my recommended, and I'm like, and I don't even see it anymore. That's so strange that you mention it, because I used to see them a lot and I used to watch them.
Like the last couple of videos they posted up were one about the new Venom movie, Doctor Who, and No Country for Old Men. So they're usually a pretty good channel themselves.
Yeah, and that's why I'm shocked that they're not on my list. Like, they used to be on my list a lot, but now, like, you're making me think about people that I actually don't even see anymore on my list.
And this is actually what this pandemic did for me. It made me remember, like, a lot of the videos, a lot of the channels that I used to go to, you know, when I always have the free time to really sit and watch a couple of videos. But like lately, like when I'm on my way to work, I'll probably listen to like a review of like a show of the night, or like if anything, I'll probably catch on Matthew, because like when Matthew does reviews of like The Flash or like Legends of Tomorrow and things like that, I'll probably watch him like on my way to work. But you know, like I said, I've been finding a lot more time to get into a lot of things. Like Nando V Movies is another channel that I like to watch also. He's usually good at he's good for like doing a lot of rewrites and fixes to like certain like movies and TV shows and stuff. I forgot what the last video he did. I think it was like really, really recent. Yeah, like in fact, I was watching it the other night. I was watching it as I was going to sleep, and he was talking about how he would have changed Iron Man 2 by making Justin Hammer the main villain. And like videos like that I really get into, because I know there's a lot of people that really don't like reboots. They really don't like remakes and things like that. But my whole thing, at least at the age I'm at right now, my whole thing is this. If there is a way you could have made something better that people keep complaining about, why not give it a shot? Why not tell us what you would do to fix it? Because that's the biggest problem. A lot of people are complaining about these things being remade and rebooted, but then my question is like, okay, what would you do?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, like, I've been kind of going the opposite way. I've been kind of going the not nerdy way when I've been watching a lot of this stuff. Like, I have been really like, I don't know. I think I'm adulting when I go on YouTube sometimes.
Same.
Yeah, it's like I've been going into, you know, like crime stuff. Like I watched the chapter, that chapter rather, and they talk about all these old cases and they go over it. This guy with his British accent is like speaking about American cases, and it's so great because he's going into like really good detail. And anybody who knows me, I love my crime stuff. Theme park history, actually. I've been watching a lot of their videos.
Oh,
interesting.
Yes. I thought I was the only person that dug that. There's a channel called Defunct Land.
Yes, that was another one I was going to go into. Yep.
Yes.
I'm about to look that up now. I used to love watching documentaries on theme parks.
And it's great because they go into and especially if you're a Disney freak like I am, like if you are very big into Disney, there's a lot of stuff that they have on like Disney videos and what happened to this ride, and do you remember this? And it's not just there. They do all sorts of all over the place. Like doesn't have to be America. It could be in England or somewhere in Europe or somewhere in Japan. They really do their research, and they come in, and you're just like, stuff I never thought existed. Like they were talking about, I think one of the videos was like, I forget who did it, but one of them was on like a park that doesn't exist anymore that Princess Diana used to take the kids to. I'm like, it's like stuff I would have never known, but I'm just sitting there watching it. And I'm like, I think I'm turning into an adult because I swear this is entertaining. But
it's fascinating.
Yeah. But just a lot of things you just don't know, like what happened to it, the history of it. Like they're even going to recent stuff, like what happened to the old what's that ride that used to be at Universal? Back to the Future ride. What it became, why it's no longer there. What's the history behind it? They go into so much detail, and I really, really, really enjoy watching their stuff.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone in the world.
No, you're not. You're definitely not. I'm like, I definitely, because it's like for me, because it kind of falls into like the kind of thing that I live vicariously through, and like through other people with, and that's like I live vicariously through people who do like abandoned videos, like so they like the Proper People, the old Adam the Woo videos back in the day, like going in there and going into abandoned properties, which 95% of the time is illegal. They go into these abandoned properties and they look through these places and take these beautiful pictures, and I live vicariously through them because sometimes they walk into stuff that is magnificent, never touched, never been, and one of the Adam the Woo videos I remember very clearly was the church, the Treehouse Church.
What?
Which yes, it was a church that was made into like this giant treehouse. It no longer exists now. So it's kind of one of those things where I go back and look at his video and go, I remember when he did this video. That place burned down recently. So, and it was like really interesting. Like, you're going in, and it was condemned, of course. That's the reason why you couldn't go in there, because it was just dangerous. But this guy built this treehouse, and it is, I want to say it's like the oh God, what's that one? That Winchester House of church tree houses, because that's what it looks. That's what it reminded me of. It was just room after room after room after room. It was so amazing. Who else did I get into that was like really like off the wall? Brad Mondo, like the hairstylist. I don't know, like, and he has this fascination with, I think I love him because he has a fascination with Black women's hair. He loves Black women's hair in their natural state. He is so fascinated by it, and I think that's why I started loving him when I watched the video where he was watching girls like perm their hair, and I'm like, and he's like, why would you do that? Your hair is so beautiful, it's so wonderful, and he's just like, why? But he is so hilarious sometimes when because basically he does reaction videos, so it's like he's watching people kind of do their stuff and he's reacting to it, and he's like flipping out, or he's like working with his brother who looks like his twin. I'm not sure if he is a twin, but he's working with his brother to kind of do some funny videos right now, and I don't know, I fell in love with that guy. He's too, like, I probably would hug him if I saw him on the street. He probably wouldn't let me, but I still would hug him.
Oh, he'll let you hug him. He'll let you hug him, I'm sure.
Let's see, who else did I get into? Actually, I still watch my Crane Game people, so I still watch my, my Kawaii K Masters, my Crane couples, my Dragon Claw Grames, all those people. I still watch those like crazy. I love them. because a lot of them, they do Japan videos, which is like my ultimate goal, is to go to Japan and play crane games and spend all my money. It's true. I wish I was lying when I said that, but I'm not lying. I think what else did I send? I made a list. I'm just trying to go through my list right now, see if I missed anybody.
It's funny.
And then, believe it or not, I even posted this on my page, and I basically said, I thank Cirque du Soleil so much for what they did. And the same thing with The Shows Must Go On. Between the two of them, they have been releasing content. Cirque has been releasing, performances from their shows on a weekly basis.
Wow.
Like if you go on their website, not website, on a YouTube channel. If you go on a YouTube channel, you're going to see a lot of content. They actually, I think, put out a whole video of one of their shows last week. And they are literally like, if anything, when I'm working, I have that in the background because it is the most calming thing I've ever watched. I mean, Cirque du Soleil has always been, but they have been putting out content, and The Shows Must Go On. They just put out Phantom of the Opera last week.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So that is available on YouTube. So that's part of their campaign to stay inside. So, and I think before that they put out like Jesus Christ Superstar and what's that? The Joseph in the Technicolor Raincoat, I think is the name of that one.
Joseph
I kind of burnt that one out. Yeah, that I kind of burnt that one out of my memory. That have a whole story behind that one.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah. If Immortal's on there, I'll check that one out. I wouldn't mind watching that one again.
I don't know what they have up next. But I know they just started putting stuff out, and I definitely put myself up for the reminders for all that stuff because I really, it's the stuff I wasn't expecting. You bring a Broadway head on top of it all. Like I love Broadway.
Oh.
So, for you to keep putting that stuff out on a regular basis and for people to actually come in, especially something like Phantom, where it's one of the longest running shows. And, and I've seen it in person. It's amazing in person. But just to put that show out, there's people that are dreaming to watch that show. Right. So, just to have it out and have people kind of getting their Broadway fix right now, it's really, I thank them so much for that.
But this kind of
that's very cool.
This kind of falls in line with what movie companies are doing now, and trying to release their movies straight to streaming services as opposed to waiting to come out in the movie theaters. Some of them, of course, they're dependent on the movie going people to go catch their movie, so that's why a lot of these movies are getting pushed back. But some of them that were like really on the verge of like coming out like within like the next week or so, like are just searching to just put it out on streaming before they lose whatever money they were going to be getting from it once it came out. I forgot what's the latest movie that's getting ready to come out for streaming. I totally forgot what it was like. It was like in my newsfeed like the other day, and I totally forgot what it was. I know just a great deal of movies that got pushed back, but at this point, this is, as we talked about, this is the new normal right now. And and in order to keep things moving like how it used to be, you got to try to find an alternative to get your stuff out there. If it's striking a deal with Netflix or Amazon or Hulu to show your movie or your show or whatever, that's what you do. Kim, we're gonna have to talk about why you didn't like Parasite, because I'm wondering what was it about Parasite that you didn't like. But
can we make that another video?
Yeah, we're gonna say
we'll make that another video. We'll have another conversation on that because I'll be sitting here all day talking about that.
We'll sit about that.
Oh, but I will say one more thing that I got into on YouTube that again is a weird off the topic thing. There's a guy GTO Gur. If you look it up, he owns, I forget where he is, but he owns an actual lot, building, and his parking lot is behind his building. And what he does is he films people parking in his parking lot and getting towed.
What?
Wow.
and he puts up like these fun facts, and he has like, he calls them drum beats. As soon as the freaking the truck pulls up to go tow somebody, the drum beats come on, and you're like, oh, it's about to go down. Like, and you watch these people get towed, and they come back 20 minutes later, an hour later, and they're like, "Where's my car?" And they're like, their reactions are there, and it's like there's signs up, everything. People are like legitimately like not reading the signs and everything, like you're being recorded, everything else. They do not read the sign, and they like at some points you have people that like get out their car, and it's like the audacity some people have, and it's like they don't realize there's cameras anywhere. They get out their car to just pee anywhere or use the bathroom.
Wow.
And it's like,
wow.
And they're all on camera. This is all happening in the back of his building.
Wow.
Right.
And it is so hilarious watching some of these people's reactions, especially because they come back drunk 95% of the time. And watching these people's reaction, and they now have to walk to go get their car.
Wow.
I think the last video I watched, this woman had a Honda. I want to say it was I don't want to say, is it a Accord or Civic? And she went to go drop off her friends to go pick up their car, and guess what? The car isn't there, and there's also people walking up to the car from like wherever they were. So they fit about 8 people into this Honda that was already jacked low, and you see the back of the car just slowly drop. I'm like, don't hit a pothole, you're done.
That's sad.
She stuffed them all just to take them to the tow, and you're just watching. It's like a clown car, so you're sitting there just watching people. And I'm like, and I don't know, it's entertaining because it's like it's unfortunate, but it's funny because it's your fault. So,
it just
but yeah, I think it's the last one on my list actually that I can remember offhand.
Another channel that I got back into recently was Odin Makes. This guy's essentially a blacksmith, and he takes a lot of like fictional weaponries and arsenal, and he actually makes them real. Like he's done Hellboy's The Right Hand of Doom. He's done the Nano Gauntlet from Endgame. I haven't.
Is that the same guy who did the Thor's hammer?
Yep. He just did 2 more. He did the super shotgun from Doom Eternal, and he just did the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. I gotta watch those 2. So I haven't watched those yet.
He did the Sword of Omens as well from Thundercats, right?
Oh yeah, I can tell you exactly what he's made. He's done the Darksaber from The Mandalorian. I should tell you, I finally finished The Mandalorian. I watched it 2 days ago. I finished it.
It took you long enough. It took you way long enough.
Hey, look.
We just got Disney Plus like a week ago.
Like we really just got Disney Plus, and like so, I used what's today, Thursday? So Tuesday and Wednesday, I used Tuesday and Wednesday, and not the whole season out. And I gotta tell you, that's probably the best Star Wars thing that's out right now.
Yeah.
It is the best Star Wars thing out right now. Like,
and that's what I say. I give Disney credit on that. Disney is good at making the in between the in between content.
Yes.
Going with the actual story, the original story was not the best idea. I know they wanted to end it. I know they wanted to finish it, but they should have just left well enough alone and kind of just went with the in betweens, because they're doing a lot better with the in between movies than anything else.
I said this once, I'll say it again. Watching The Mandalorian was like watching all of my old Bounty Hunter action figures come to life. Okay. Now, IG-11. Now, we remember from The Empire Strikes Back there was a bounty droid called IG-88. Now, all the IG droids are pretty much, I guess, basically of the same type of make. But I kid you not, I took a good look, and you got to be a real collector and a real nerd to notice this, that the IG-11 actually had both of the weapons, the actual weapons. I was like, whoa, he's got the actual weapons that came with the IG-88 action figure back in the day. I'm like, what? And the weapon that the Mandalorian uses, the long the rifle.
Yeah.
You first saw that in the Star Wars Holiday Special during that animated section where you first saw Boba Fett. He had that same exact weapon. I was like, yo, Jon Favreau was paying attention. And for the first time, and I'm going to end it, and for the first time, there was a vehicle that was released by Kenner years ago in the mid 80s, like early 80s, mid 80s, and it was called the Imperial Troop Transport. You never saw that vehicle in any of the Star Wars films, but you finally saw it in, like, I think the 7th or 8th episode. That big transport that came in, that big gray transport, and all the troopers were like sitting like on the inside of them. That was actually a toy from back in the day. I guarantee you that Jon Favreau had one, and he wanted to see it come to life.
Probably, and and like I said, but that's what I think they do a lot better with that, because they can definitely come in between and do the in between stuff, because that requires less research, that requires less, I'm not gonna say less writing, but you're pretty much coming up with a lot of that stuff, and it's easier for you to do it than you to kind of work your way from the actual storyline, the original storyline. So Mandalorian, I can't wait. But that's another conversation within itself too. So that's a whole different conversation.
Fan service. People complain about fan service. I don't care. Give me fan service. I don't care.
I will
see the original Imperial TIE Fighter and with Giancarlo Esposito driving a TIE Fighter, son.
Yeah,
what?
Like I really dug the series, and like, I'll be honest with you, the intro that they have for the show, where it shows like all the different helmets and stuff, they should just keep that for like everything else Star Wars from now on. That should be the intro from now on. No more crawl and stuff. None of that. Just
I mean, if you actually look at it, I think they kind of deviated from a lot of that stuff too. And I think when they start doing the actual the new series or even the new movies that they're working on, I think they're going to deviate from that more, because that was the whole thing about when we first saw Rogue One. If you notice the actual, when you look at the intro, it's much different from the intro from the actual Star Wars movie. And they did that on purpose. Because it's not an actual, so you really have to, like, they're really paying attention to those details, because they're actually pulling those from the actual Star Wars, the mainline Star Wars story, just so they can actually have that separated. So definitely, I think every series so far, every movie so far should have the little, quip or the little intro, different from the others. Just like, you look at Solo's intro is much different. Everything should have that little quip. That way they can actually have their own identity separate from the actual Star Wars movies themselves. But like I said, that's a totally another conversation for another day. Another day. What about you, Tani? I know Kendrick said a lot, but you didn't get a chance to say anything about anything you're watching.
Yeah, because Ken and I watch a lot of the same stuff. But but when we go to our separate rooms, I guess, I watch, like Kim said, she's been doing a lot of adulting. I do a lot of adulting on YouTube as well. So I watch a lot of things pertaining to what I do at my business. So I watch Film Riot because I want to get a little bit better at doing some visual effects and, different things, because trying to find a visual effects person is expensive. A good one. Finding a good one is expensive. And there are a lot of things that I just want to, that's something that out of all the creative programs, that's just one that I just really can't grasp. So I just watch a lot of Film Riot videos, especially pertaining to visual effects. I watch Freakmo. They are a channel for special effects makeup. So just, learning different techniques and different things that can be done with makeup, you can transform people with makeup, and that's fascinating to me. And I hope to be able to get to do things nearly on the level, like even half on the level that these other people are doing. And then there's another person I watch for my other business called her name is Erin On Demand. Now the reason, she is she's a brand strategist, and she does branding and marketing. I watch her videos, but I don't watch her videos a lot, only because I don't want to really be influenced by other people when I talk about branding myself for my own speaking engagements. I never want to feel, I never want to feel like, I'm copying someone's, style or technique. So even though a lot of times, if you know what you're talking about in an industry, you're pretty much saying the same thing anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a standard.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want, I like I said, I watch her videos as well as other brand strategist videos, and like I said, I don't watch them too much because I don't want to feel like I'm being influenced by them. In terms of entertainment, I watch a lot of dance videos. The one I watch the most is Millennium Dance Studio. They're out in LA, and it's just, I don't know, reminiscent of me being in the dance studio when I had way more energy, and just reminiscing about the times of being a dancer and following the choreography and things like that. I love watching people dance. I watch random, aside from them, I watch random dance videos as well. Screen rants, we talked about that. Specifically pitch meetings, and also for entertainment, I watch a lot of panels from companies.
Right, yeah.
Specifically for shows that I watch, or actors that I like. If there's a panel featuring them, I tend to watch those. The reason why I watch those is because, I don't know, ever since Ken and I saw, oh my God, who's the guy who plays Cyborg?
Ray Fisher.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Ever since we saw Ray Fisher's panel in person, but ever since we saw his panel, it's interesting. You get an interesting understanding of these actors, and his panel was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, that's very true. I can definitely agree to that. I wasn't expecting to be as interested as I was. Then this isn't the same thing against him, but it's just like, the only thing we had seen him in was, Justice League. That was his first breakout role. So we had no idea what kind of person he was, and sitting there watching his panel, I was like, damn.
Yeah. And I don't know. I like seeing people be human. We watch these actors on TV all the time, and you have an idea of who they are as a person. But and they could be acting in these panels. They could be acting like a nice person when in real life they're a total butthole. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't know, it humanizes them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I loved Inside the Actors Studio, and I was very upset when number one, when John Lipton, he used to host the show. Mm-hmm. He passed away recently, and there was one episode that was just so good. There's two of my favorite episodes of Inside the Actors Studio. Was the one with Robin Williams, and I think it's still on. And the other one was with Robert Downey Jr. And you do get to see them being human. And there was another episode with Michelle Pfeiffer, and there was one guy who wanted to ask Michelle Pfeiffer a question, and he just got tongue-tied, and she was just smiling at him because he was just so smitten by her. I love that. I love that show. Inside the Actors Studio is a great show.
And then the last one that I watch on a consistent basis, because I will, like I said, when we said in the beginning that I'll just sit and watch random YouTube videos. But the last person that I watch on a consistent basis is this guy named LaGuardia Cross and the New Father Chronicles. Even though he's not a new dad anymore, I think his kids are 3 and 6 or 3 and 5. And I came across his channel. I think somebody shared a video of his on Facebook when his youngest was like 3 months old. And she's, I think, almost 3 now. And not only are the videos funny, and I don't usually watch too many videos that involve kids or babies, but there's just something about his videos. Like, he's funny. Like, his kids are adorable and you can watch them all day. But he in particular is funny, and then I just also find the way that he edits the videos to be awesome. So, and they're short. I'm a huge fan of short videos. If they're 5 minutes or less, I'm probably watching it. If it's more than 5 minutes, unless it's a panel, I probably don't want to watch it. I don't even watch long dance videos.
Please, I learned
my lesson with that, to make shorter videos. I learned my lesson with that one.
No, I watched 2 hours worth of freaking Reddit videos, 2 hour long Reddit videos, and I will sit there and watch them and have a blast.
I'll watch 2 hours worth of videos, but they're all like 5 minutes or less long.
No, I will watch. Like, I think I want to say either r/ or Mr. Reddit, one of the two. They do these 2 hour blocks of videos, or hour block of videos, where it's just him reading Reddit, and it's just the most perfect thing in the world to fall asleep through. It's like you fall asleep to just him talking. It's so great. I did forget 2 channels actually that I do watch, and one, because she is hilarious. I watch Freakin' Reviews and Vivian Tries. They both review as seen on TV products you buy from the actual stores. They do pretty much just product reviews, and Vivian is hilarious. She doesn't like. She is not one serious. I don't think there's one serious bone in her body. Like, she makes everything she does, everything she touches, she makes funny. And I'm like, you have to watch at least one of her videos. It's like at least one. I can't even mimic her. I can't even like explain her demeanor. It's like she's like that person. She's that person you want sitting at your table at a wedding.
Okay, that sounds dope. That sounds dope.
Or the one cousin that you want to sit next to at the family reunion, because they're always going to have everybody bugging. That she's like that person, because it's like I feel like everything she touches is like, and it's like she could be doing something completely wrong or completely right, and it's just funny because she just I don't know, it's just like the way she does it, the way she talks. It's hilarious to me. But yeah, I'm like, but I like watching them because they review the products for you, so you don't have to buy them. Right. So a lot of the stuff that you're going on, like you see online, like the Wish stuff and all the stuff that they're up there reviewing it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's another thing. I just don't know the videos that I watch where I think the girl's from like Australia or New Zealand, where she buys stuff from like Wish,
and that's the
Fashion Nova.
That's the second one, Vivian
Tries.
I think I've seen a couple. I think I've seen a couple of those videos.
No, Vivian Tries is not. She's not from Australia. She's American.
Oh, she's
American.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's like from Texas or something like that. She has an accent. But the other girl I watch, she's in Australia, and she just buys Fashion Nova stuff. I just can't think of her name right now off the top of my head. It's when her videos pop up, I have to watch it because she does comparisons. Like, she's very thin, very straight line, petite, but her friend is very shapely. So what she'll do is that they'll buy $200 worth of products, and they'll compare it on each girl to see how they fit. So they'll buy the same product for each of them to show how it fits on each. Because it kind of gives you a realization that, hey, companies, you're not making these equal.
Right.
Like, if this fits like this in the big girl and this fits like this in the small girl, what about me?
Right.
I'm not in that category. So what am I supposed to look like? So it's definitely I love the way she does it, but she has a parrot that attacks her friend all the time, which is even more funny. It's like, I don't know. It's like I have been like, I think I want to watch I want to watch geek content on there. Like, I used to watch oh god, what is the Xbox channel that used to be on there? Where they do reviews of games and stuff like that. I just don't see it come up anymore. It's I have to look it up. But yeah, I don't see it come up anymore. And if it doesn't come up, I don't watch it. So it's not in my face. I can't.
Actually, that brings me on to another interesting question. What are some of the things that you used to watch a lot of, but you haven't really been watching lately?
Well, one of the channels I used to watch, and I have to look at my subscriptions to get the actual name. The only reason I don't watch him now is because he doesn't put out content anymore like that anymore. But one of them, like one I used to watch is the Tim Tracker. I love that guy. His family is. I met him when I was down in Florida, actually, the last time. I was hoping to meet his wife because I think they're the cutest couple in the world. They're so adorable. They just had their baby. But he reviews Universal and Disney. What's the other parks down there? Busch Gardens. What's the park that got in trouble with Shamu? What's that one? SeaWorld. Yeah. Legoland. He does all those. He walks in there. He does reviews. He has insider information. He looks at the hotels. He gets insider stuff, and I like him because it usually is him. Sometimes it's him and his wife. Sometimes it's him. Sometimes it's him and wife and his kid. But now you're kind of going through the whole family thing. When they had the kid, I kind of lost a lot of interest in it because I kind of wanted to give him privacy, and I'm like, I feel as though I'm invading their privacy once they had a kid. Yeah. And I so now I'm having a hard time watching the channel because I just feel like even if I see him in the park now, I don't want to bother him.
Yeah.
Because God, I would love to do a show like that. Just to go from one theme park to another theme park, ride the rides and review and everything. And
I will go with you,
bro.
Yeah, and that's all.
I will go with you, Harold.
And, he does that a lot, and he does it a lot, and it's so like if you watch and when I first watched him, he had his handlebar mustache. That's what drew me in. He had this perfect handlebar. Now he doesn't have it, but that's what drew me in. And I think when I met him, I think he had just gotten rid of the handlebar. I have to go find the picture. I think he had just gotten rid of the handlebar mustache when I met him in Universal. Actually, I met him coming out of Diagon Alley. I'll never forget. And I ruined his video because I started screaming.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Oh man. He's one. The other one, I have to go look at my actual subscription to get his name because I believe what happened with him is a lot with his content. And he just stopped putting out videos. But I'll tell you right now.
I realized, I was looking through my list, I realized I don't subscribe to a lot of channels. So that means that a lot of stuff I watch on YouTube is just really random.
Like
it's going by your algorithm, yeah.
There's a good amount of channels that I'm subscribed to, but I'd say I probably watch maybe like 2 handfuls of what those channels do. Because, and just to go back to your point, Kim, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of them haven't really been putting up content like they used to in the beginning. Like anyone who does a movie review, they're always on it. They're like pumping out like videos after they see a movie, so those are usually not a problem. It's funny. I
used to like Bat Dad. I used to be really, really into Bat Dad.
I was into him too.
Yeah, but that gets old after a certain.
Yeah. I mean, how many times can you watch a guy go, Ben?
Yeah.
Do your homework today. Swear to me.
And I think that's what really happens to it. Also, is like a lot of sticks get real old real fast, and so if you don't do something new, like your channel kind of dies out. Like I know I mentioned this at the top of the show, but like I haven't really done a lot of reaction videos, and I haven't really watched a lot of reaction videos lately. Like I can't remember the last one I wholeheartedly watched because I wanted to. Because I mean, as far as a lot of the people I know, like people like Akasan or even Matthew, a lot of those they usually react to a lot of TV shows and stuff. That's a lot of the things that they're doing right now, reacting to like TV shows or like maybe even a movie. But as far as like just regular stuff, like a trailer or a video, they're not really doing that so much. Like the only one who I know is still doing that is Tyrone Magnus, and I haven't really been watching a lot of his videos lately either.
I can't bring myself to do a trailer reaction. I mean, as much as people like watching them and everything, and I do get a lot of views. Like when I did the trailer reaction for a Peninsula, Train to Busan, I got a lot of it, but I can't. I don't know. I'm not drawn artistically. I'm not drawn to keep doing trailer reactions. My passion mostly is like just actually retro video games. That's really my passion, and reviewing movies.
It's
you know,
fun.
so the whole trailer reaction thing is kind of.
It's funny that it's funny that you mentioned that, Harold, because I'm in the same boat too. See, before I was blaming it on time, the fact that I didn't have the time to do a reaction video to a trailer because trailers come out like the early part of the day. I'm at work during the early part of the day, so by the time I get home, I don't want to have to set up and then sit down and do a reaction video. Like, I'll do it for something that I've been looking for a trailer for, but other than that, I'm not going to take the time to do it. So now it's like to a point where it's like reaction videos are like, they're kind of like they're almost kind of like a thing of a past for me. So like I'm in the same boat too. Like, I would much rather do reviews of like movies and TV shows and stuff. Because, like, I can at least take the time out and watch those things and then get back to you after that. Or, like, do gameplay videos. Because, I mean, even gameplay videos, they're a bit of a task, too. Because if you want to have the proper layout and all that other stuff, you got to set all that stuff up. But at the end of the day, you're going to be sitting there for a couple of hours, playing the game. You know?
So how do you guys, as YouTubers, with your own separate channels, how do you guys basically find the balance between giving what your customers want versus doing what you really want?
I say the one thing, okay, what makes a painter paint? Because they like it. What makes a musician play? Because they enjoy it. When you start doing it for the views, then you kind of start to lose yourself.
Yeah.
I prefer to do videos of what I'm passionate about, because at least I'm real,
Exactly.
And I think that's what shows in a lot of YouTube channels, is that when people start losing their passion for what they're doing, it shows.
Yeah.
And it shows in their channel, it shows in their content. You really have a hard time kind of keeping that motivation going for that. And you lose kind of your fans. You may keep your fans itself. Like, I think there was one of the Crane people that I used to watch, Arcade Matt or something like that. And I really can't watch him anymore. It's like, he's passionate about what he does, but you can tell that he's clickbaiting a lot, or he's, doing a lot of, I really don't necessarily, his energy is just too high for me. It's artificial. Like, I don't feel as though I don't want to watch him anymore. Like, in the beginning, it was fun to watch. Now it's not. So, you can tell when somebody, like, I can tell, like, there's one channel that I actually came across looking through my subscription. Don't laugh. No judgment. No judgment, okay? It's called Jelly's Marble Runs. And you probably saw it on YouTube. Basically, this guy sets up freaking Olympics with marbles.
Oh.
Wow.
And you can tell when you watch his older videos until now, the evolution. And you can tell he loves what he does. And no matter when it pops up in my thing, I have to watch it. I don't care what it is. And then I have to watch the movies. I have to watch the ones I missed because I didn't see it before. I have to because you can tell the passion is there for what he does. Yeah. But, if he didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have watched it. There's another channel that's similar to this one that I don't watch because it's not there. Mm-hmm. So it's the same type of thing, but I prefer to watch his channel because even when he's acting as the announcer, he sounds like he really is into it. He sounds like he really wants this to happen. Like, I'm really sitting here watching this from the stands, know. And I think when a YouTuber loses themselves in content and they lose themselves just to the views, it really, 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 really starts to show. And that's like this channel may offend you, that the one I was telling you about earlier. She's kind of on that same level. It doesn't matter if you like her content or not, but she just called somebody out on one of her channels. I'm not going to say who, but she called somebody out on one of her channels for that same type of reason. They're just looking and fishing for likes. They're fishing for attention, and they're YouTubers. So they're basically just doing everything. And that person basically got on somebody who had multiple personality disorder, and tried to pretend like they had it themselves, to compensate. And you're kind of watching this, and and there's a lot of YouTubers out there that just want the Patreon, they just want the views, they just want the money.
Yeah.
And
You can definitely tell who's in it for what, because a lot of the YouTubers that I started watching, even a little bit after I started my YouTube career, you can tell how a lot of their programming shifted from what it was in the beginning to what it was now. Like when I started this thing, I was like super all in it. I was like, every day, and Tanya could tell you, every day I was recording, editing, and posting like clockwork.
Right.
Now is like, not to say that I don't have a passion for it, but like it's changed, because you can, like, certain channels you'll go to and you can hear them talk about, let's try to get this video to X amount of likes and trying to get X amount of subscribers still. And at this point, there's no real control you have over that anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's so funny you say that doing something that you like because you have it, or doing something because you have a passion for it, or doing something just because you want the likes or the money or the revenue or anything like that. One thing I tell a lot of the clients that I service, they are content creators, they're artists, they are in creative spaces, and they feel like they quote unquote have to do something in order to make money from whatever their passion is. And I tell them, it's like, you don't have to do anything in your business. The only thing you have to do is sell. What you sell, depends entirely up to you. How you sell it depends on, entirely up to you and your audience. You could do things for likes or do something because it's a money maker right now, but eventually two things are going to happen. One, people are going to start to smell your inauthenticity and lose interest. Or two, you're going to lose interest. And then you're not going to dedicate yourself to it as much as you did before.
Yep.
The biggest thing I tell people when they want to make money with their art or their craft, you have to really, really, really want to do it, first of all, because there's going to be times that suck. And there's going to be times that you may have to tweak something or do something just for money. However, that shouldn't be like, your main source of income. It's like a means to an end.
Right.
For example, I've had to change certain things, certain ways I do things, being self-employed, because of this pandemic. These are things that I don't normally do, but this is the means to the end right now. By the time this is over, I'll be going back to normal. But I also was just telling Ken this. And as I'm going to relate it to a content creator, that means to an end that you're doing right now, eventually, if you really work at it and work hard enough, you may be able to find a way to work your passion back into what you're doing right now.
Right.
So for example, Harold does starts doing like some clickbaity stuff just so he can get some revenue in eventually. But we know that Harold loves retro gaming.
Yeah, I love it.
Eventually down the road, he will keep doing those things that's bringing revenue plus the retro gaming, and then think, if I take this part of this and do this part of that, I think if I marry the two, then I could start making revenue doing what I actually want to do.
Right.
Well, and I mean, not to get, because we're getting a little sidetracked on that, and that's a totally different conversation. That's a totally different conversation that we need to get on. But like going back to just what we were just to the actual, the main topic of, what we were saying, back to what Kendrick was saying, like people that we don't watch, that we found ourselves watching before. I actually found that name that I was looking for earlier, and the guy's name is Lieutenant Lick Me.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you actually go watch his videos, they are pretty much trolling videos. There are some really like freaky ones where he calls out his army. I don't know how real these are or not. I don't know how staged they are, but he calls out his army, and they pretty much are going after people that have attacked other people or talked bad about other people, or abuse somebody, scam somebody. They usually go after those. He usually goes after those people, but he does it through like the gaming system. So he does it. They know these people are gamers, things of that nature. So he's doing it behind a mask and a veil. And they're very interesting videos, but I don't know what happened with YouTube. I try to kind of backtrack and figure it out, but something happened between YouTube and those videos where he can't do that content anymore on that actual channel.
Wow.
And it's hard to kind of bring back. And I meant to go back to Rouge. I'm sorry. Rouge likes to watch ASMR videos for relaxation.
She does.
She does. She said, I meant to go back, and you said his name was Daryl, right?
Daryl, yeah,
he likes to watch screenwriting videos on YouTube. So I do apologize. I didn't forget about you guys on the chat there. I just kind of got a little bit sidetracked before I can get back to you guys. But yeah, I mean, for me, those are like that's a channel that I used to watch. Liza Koshy, I used to watch a lot, and she kind of fell off. So things of that nature, like especially when she had like the big breakup with her ex or whatever. That's kind of where I fell off with her, because I didn't feel like it was real or genuine. What she was doing was real. It was more for her acting gig. So, for me, those channels kind of fell off, and I can't find myself watching them anymore. But I don't know, like Harold, Katanni, Kendrick, any of those channels, any channels you don't watch anymore?
I mean, I'm subscribed to a lot of channels, so it'd be hard to.
Yeah. So do you remember like even just one that you don't watch anymore?
Like what I could say. Like I used to watch. I'm still subscribed to the channel. I used to watch Matthew Santoro a lot. He's the one that always does like the top, I think, 50 or 100 facts you didn't know. I haven't watched this stuff in a while. I'll watch Tyrone Magnus here and there, but other than that, I'll give him credit. He's been able to stick with his formula all these years, and apparently still works for him. But to me, I kind of outgrew it to a degree. I kind of outgrew a lot of his stuff. So, but I can't. I mean, I'll probably have to go through my subscription list and figure out which ones haven't been posting up anything new and which ones haven't been posting up anything good, and like start subscribing, because it doesn't really make sense to stay connected to those channels, because not only does their content change, but people's taste change too.
And
that's the other thing, and people tend to forget that people's taste change over the years. What was popular like maybe 5 or 6 years ago isn't so popular right now anymore.
Remember, I don't know if you ever seen those videos, the African Rebel videos.
No.
African Rebel?
Yeah, there's a guy, I forget, he's playing Call of Duty or one of the shooter games, and he would pretty much talk in accents. He was really good at doing accents. And he would freak people out because apparently there was a way you can find people's information through their IP address. Through the gaming system. So he would freak people out during the game, and they just start calling them out for, being jerks or whatever in the game. But that's another one where you can only do it for so long before it gets boring. And you can't do it anymore.
I mean, YouTube algorithm changing aside, which is, I mean, this is a topic for another video if we ever want to do it, but like, just the changes in how content is supposed to be presented now. And me and Harold, we understand this completely about how certain things have changed as of like beginning of this year with what you put up and who was presented to, because now, everything that you put up has to either be designated either for kids or not for kids.
Yeah.
And
that's the reason why I had to kind of change my format. That's the reason I had to change it, because I was so fearful of being sued. Of like somebody seeing in my toys in the background and saying, it's for kids.
Yeah.
I guess moved the X Zone to Instagram in the meantime until they figure this thing out. That's why I don't have no toys in the background anymore.
Yeah. And that's a lot of fear I think a lot of people are having right now, because that's what I've noticed when I do watch certain YouTube channels where people that usually curse in their videos have kind of just, because they don't want to be demonetized because they slipped an S word or a D word, and they're like, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. And it's, and that's the fear that's going on right now. It's because people are so afraid to kind of move.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm is so, messed up right now. Everything's kind of jacked up. So, I mean, I get it. It's definitely a conversation for another day, though. It's definitely something to talk about, and what happened, what changes we've seen on our end too, as far as people that don't have channels and don't have, a specific channel. We see the change on our end as well. Certain content that was presented before is not presented to us anymore.
Right.
So it kind of moves that way. So definitely it would be a conversation that we can have. But, as far as this topic here, I mean, does anybody have anything else or any other channels that they're going over or that they want? I don't think anybody in the comments has mentioned anything right now.
Collider, like I said, like earlier, I was talking about Collider movie talk and how everything had changed. I mean, the format and everything had changed. They used to be, they used to like have everybody on the panel, all the panelists on this one table. And it looked so professional and sounded so good. They had a nice sound stage and everything. Everything looked so wonderful. And then all of a sudden, they grouped everybody together in this room that looks like the inside of a radio studio, and the sound was terrible. The acoustics were awful. You could hear them and hear the reverberation off the walls and everything. When they had this beautiful sound stage, everybody was sitting next to each other. They had a little microphone in front of them. They had the Collider logo in the back on a screen, and everything just looked so nice, like they were in an actual television studio. And then they just went and just put it together, crunched everybody together into this radio station. Phone's running one.
It says not me.
They changed everything. First, John Campbell left for obvious reasons. Then poor, we lost John Schnepp years ago. I was fortunate on getting to meet him one day before he passed on. And then everything just changed, and people started leaving for obvious reasons. Even Christian Harloff went off on the producer while they were taping and everything. So everything just fell flat. It just was not the way it used to be. So I just went on ahead and I just forgot about him. So,
yeah.
Man, that's a good reason too. I mean, it's a lot. A lot happened there. So definitely. What about you, Ken? Anything else?
I'm gonna have to go through the things I'm subscribed to and figure out which ones I'm gonna keep and which ones I'm gonna unsubscribe from, because it doesn't make sense for me to be subscribed to them if I'm not looking at them. I mean, as far as the rest of the remaining of the quarantine is concerned, I'm still going to be sticking with a lot of things I've been sticking with so far. That means a lot. Still the Reddit videos. I'm still going to be stuck with those. I actually made a suggestion to Screen Rant pitch meeting to do Independence Day and Independence Day Resurgence. So I don't know if they're going to get to those at any point, because those two movies need it. And
those the second one, the latter part of the first,
definitely need that, especially Resurgence, because I don't know what the heck happened with that. But other than
there's no reason why
there's very few movies he does that are actually bad.
Yeah,
except for Cats, he did that one.
I mean,
I think everybody has done Cats at this point, because it was just that. First of all, has anybody seen Cats besides me?
No.
I was.
Okay. Yeah,
there was just
I watched
something freaky about it. Something weird about it.
I'll tell you right now, the costumes they had on the Broadway show look better than the movie. I don't know why they didn't just do that.
Oh,
I've never seen the Broadway show, but I remember what they looked like. That was more convincing.
Exactly.
They did some weird amalgamation thingy, some kind of weird gene splicing thing on this movie. I don't know what they were trying to do out here.
I only have to say one thing about that. I can't stand when they put Rebel Wilson in singing positions.
Oh, poor Rebel.
I love her as a comedian.
That's like the only things I've seen her.
I'm like, and they keep putting her in singing parts, and I'm just like, why? Poor child. Poor child. I'm like, that was just, it was bad. I watched the entire thing. It was bad. But I think everybody has done Cats because it was just that bad. It was so epically bad.
We totally forgot that we do watch random clips of ridiculousness. For some reason, I like watching it on YouTube better than actually watching the show.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm pretty sure we get MTV from Sling, but I've been doing that too. I've been watching a lot of like clips from ridiculousness on YouTube, and it just works better because like they have their own channel. So that I'm not subscribed to them, of course, but they have their own channel, you know. But Kim, Tani, any channels that you haven't choosing not to follow anymore? I mean, I know.
I have one. Oxhorn.
What's that? What's that one?
Oxhorn. We were talking about watch people play games. Oxhorn used to play Fallout. He's a big Fallout 4 player. And I used to watch him only because, you know, when I was playing Fallout 4, I was trying to find like, you know, like those hidden spots or whatever the case may be. And he has a very good lore setup. So not necessarily watching him play, but he goes behind it and he tells the lore behind it. So if he finds like a terminal, he starts telling the story from that terminal, and he starts bridging that to the end of the actual, you know, what's the one I'm looking for? The quest. So if there is a quest, if there's not a quest, he just bridges the gap between those stories. So if there's multiple stories amongst different terminals, he goes through it and bridges that. I used to love watching him. But then I found out the backstory behind him, and then I wasn't too keen on him at that point. You know, it's a lot of, you know, religious undertones, but he did apologize for that he's basically going after, you know, gay people and things of that nature. People that, you know, people that were into certain videos on the, you know, websites that I shall not name. You know, it's kind of like it kind of turned me off a little bit. It's like I used to love it because he has a very good speaking voice. He sits down with a cigar usually and, you know, some whiskey. He has a very good talking voice. Like you can listen to him all night. I just can't watch him anymore. But that is one. I'm definitely going to unsubscribe to him because I actually still have him subscribed, but I don't get his videos anymore. Pulled up. So.
We froze on YouTube, really?
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Then I just froze. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, no.
I know. My camera looks like you should be wearing red and blue 3D glasses.
Because you have the blur on.
The blur.
Yeah, the blur.
Okay. Oh, the blur.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Okay, so oh my gosh, how do I fix it? Well, we're like at the end of the show. I'm gonna fix it now.
Well, FYI, if you right-click your picture, it'll actually give you the option to unblur it.
It's unblurred now. Okay. Yeah, it's unblurred now.
Unblur my background. Undo these colors are all looking like on my doubles.
No, thank you.
All right.
I guess that kind of wraps up everything on this show. I mean, we don't know when this pandemic's gonna end. We don't know when quarantine's gonna be over. So as far as it stands, we're still gonna be. I'm still gonna be surfing through YouTube, looking up random videos and stuff. You know, I'm
gonna go right back to that one once I get off of here because I already have a video queue.
You know,
I'm just waiting on y'all.
Actually, honestly speaking, I think like after this, I'm going to jump back into Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then I'll probably start getting my notes together for my review.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to go to it because I heard something about it, and now I'm like,
I know exactly what you're talking about, but
yeah,
and that's actually what I'm going to talk about in my review, but I'm going to talk about why I like it. I know what you're talking about, but I'm not going to talk about why I like it because, you know, everyone's been doing their video on it, but I happen to like when stories go this direction, so I'm gonna talk about it. So that's probably what I'll end up filming tomorrow. My review for Final Fantasy VII remake, if I beat it tonight, because this Sephiroth.
Yeah, I heard Sephiroth is hard. I know. Yeah, I know a few people who are stuck on Sephiroth.
I thought these other bosses were bad, but
Sephiroth was bad in Kingdom Hearts too. I'm like, it got to a point where like in the original Kingdom Hearts, he was not easy to beat. Like when it got to the other ones, he was easier. But like the first one, if you didn't have the ultimate weapon, it was like, come on now.
So I'm about to be here for like maybe a couple of hours trying to beat this guy. So it was like, it is what it is. But,
I said things you got to keep yourself busy while I'm gone, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always be like me and download 6 games from the PlayStation Network that you're probably not going to play.
If they're free, then yeah, sure, why not?
Oh no! I mean,
it's funny.
2 of them are free on the PlayStation Network or not.
I downloaded Sonic Forces for PS4. I don't know why I did that, because that game's not all that fun. And I'm a big Sonic fan.
You just reminded me of something I started watching. I started watching people freaking speed run Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the games.
Those are fun. Those are actually really fun. Those.
I'm like, what in the world? Because I'm like having my like Genesis moments. I'm like, I didn't even know this existed. Where does this come from? I didn't even get to this level.
I've seen videos of people speed run Sonic, and I'm like, okay, clearly. See, I'm thinking I'm a Super Saiyan at playing Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, but apparently I was wrong. Because there's people out here making me look stupid playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'm like, what?
Oh, the last time I played Sonic the Hedgehog, it definitely proved that I am way out of practice.
I'm like,
from playing at 9 years old.
I'm like, I've forsaken my Hedgehog brothers, so I gotta get it together. Yeah. I started playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles again. Like after I saw them videos, I'm like, man, I gotta get it together. These people
there's a video that I send you. This guy does all the secret levels.
Oh man!
And he does them so quickly. I'm like, when I got to those things, I used to freak out. I have panic attacks sitting there trying to freaking jump over the I don't even know what you're gonna call those things. Those little balls that bounce you back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I didn't even know you can jump over those. I'm like,
what?
I will be honest though. One thing those speed videos did do for me, they helped me deal with those special stages a little bit better though. Like those blue sphere special stages, they like when I was seeing people play, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even know you could do that. I'm here trying to play these things straight, and these dudes is taking shortcuts. I'm like, well, I know what I need to do now. So
yeah, and they do it all the time. And it's like you didn't even know these like you don't, because you can't see half of the level anyway. So like you only see what's in front of you because it's a platformer. So you're just like, okay, here, and it's high low, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, I have been watching those like crazy. I'm like, because it reminds me of when I had my Genesis.
Get you a retro. Get a retro.
I do have one, but it's at a certain person's house, and I'm not going to say their names.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. I see what's going on here. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that concludes our show for today. Yes. I want to thank everyone who tuned in and watched and, commented in the comment section. We'll be back again, I guess, next week, depending.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to talk about throughout the next couple of days or so. Problem. And, definitely look out for our posts on Instagram. We'll let you know what we'll be talking about then. And we should be back here same time. I guess 6:30. I guess 6:30 works for everybody.
6:30 works for me.
Yeah, and I'll promise to make sure we start on time next time. So,
Yeah, no more CPT. We're building up a reputation over here.
Yeah. So, as always, subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram. Check us out on our Facebook fan page. All of those are in the description box below you. Definitely be on the lookout for the audio on your podcast streaming services. Our latest show, I have to redo it again because it didn't take the first time, so I got to redo it again. So you'll get 2 shows. You'll get our last show, and you'll get this one. And
yay!
Yeah, that's about it. You can definitely follow each and every one of us individually on our own Instagram accounts or wherever you want to follow us at. And that's about it. We will catch you guys next week, 6:30. And as always,
The council has
spoken.
Oh, that kind of took too long. What was going on with that?
It was supposed to be everybody.
I don't know.
Everybody's supposed to stay together, but it just didn't happen that way. We don't have enough liquor in us today, okay?
Well,
it's not happening.
Well, I don't drink, so I don't know what you're talking about. So
No, you guys glitched over here. I was trying to talk with y'all, but it was like it froze, and then I'm like, the cat. Spoken. That's what it sounds like.
Yep. You know what? The council has spoken, you guys.
All right, Henry.
We'll see you next week.
Once again, the council has spoken. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Peace.